Hi, welcome to Leland Fly Fishing tonight. I'm Brandon Moon, and tonight we're going to be tying up a hare's ear variant. We call this a hotspot flashback hare's ear nymph. We aren't going to be using hare's ear. We're going to be using pine squirrel instead, and we hope you enjoy this one. Have a great day. So the hook that we're going to be using today is the Moonlit Premium Tagata ML502. I tie this anywhere from a size 12 to 16. When I tie 16s, I use the 501s. You can use the 501s instead of the 502s if you'd like as well. The bead I'm using for the size 14 is a 3mm copper Moonlit slotted tungsten. The thread is S.Fly Classic Wax A-Dot Floral Orange. We're just going to start that behind the bead all the way to the back of the hook, where I'm going to take a clump of natural pine squirrel from a natural pine squirrel Zonker strip from Moonlit. I'm going to take a small clump, and you can see I just pulled that off of the height of the Zonker. I'm going to measure this out to be just a little bit shorter than the hook length shank. And then I'm going to secure that down all the way up into the bead of the hook. Here I'm going to take some copper wire from S.Fly. This is the 0.2mm tying wire in copper. I'm going to slide that right into the top of the bead there where the slot is. And then I'm going to tie that and secure it all the way back to the tie-in point at the tail. And I'll use that to just help create a nice smooth underbody there. Once I get back to the back, I am going to take a couple wraps underneath and then pull it tight, and that's going to help keep this tail nice and vertical. Now we're going to take Moonlit Pine Squirrel dubbing in the natural, and we're just going to create a nice dubbing rope or noodle of thread here. And this is going to give us a nice buggy look, just like a natural hare's ear. Once we get that going, we're going to take and use the rotary feature to wrap this dubbing. We're going to go forward, and we're going to give ourselves roughly about a bead's length for the thorax. I'm going to go back to create a little bit of a taper to this body. I didn't quite get enough, so I went back about halfway, and then I'm going to go forward the rest of the way back to that end point there. So I'm just going to take and finish getting that wrapped up into that point. Pull a few fibers. Now I'm going to half hitch this thread here and then set it off to the side on my bobbin rest and take and wrap my wire with open spiral wraps. That's going to help secure the dubbing down, give it a nice ribbed look. I'll wrap that up into the thorax area where I can secure it down with my thread over the top and in front. Then I'm just going to set my thread off to the side again, helicopter that out. Where I want it to be real buggy, I'm going to take a dubbing brush and brush out the dubbing just a little bit. You can see how nice and fuzzy and buggy looking that is. I'm going to invert my hook and take a 1/16 floral orange tinsel from S.Fly, and we're going to take and we're going to tie that in. You can see it's going on the side of the hook, but as I get that and start wrapping rearward just a little bit, I lost the tinsel, so I'll have to grab that. Couple wraps, and then I'm just going to pull it through so that I don't have any exposed ends on that tinsel. Again, I want a bead's length for the thorax here. Now I'm going to take a 1/16 inch Mirage iris tinsel and do the exact same thing. We're just going to secure that down. On this one, that tinsel's a little bit off here. Sometimes I struggle just a little bit. It's worth it though. So we'll just pull that in. It's folding itself over just a little bit, so I'm going to lock that in, and then I'm going to trim it out real quick. I'm going to cover this up with dubbing anyways, so I just need to get that out. So finish securing that down. You can see now that's sitting nice and flush in the top on there. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Moonlit natural pine squirrel dubbing and create a thorax, and this is going to taper a little bit thicker than the body was. So I'm going to add just a little bit more, and you'll just eyeball this. A few more wraps here. Now I'm going to take and pull that 1/16 inch Mirage Iris tinsel to the side, and then with the wrap I can take and pull that into the center and center it up. Do the same thing with the 1/16 floral orange. Slide that into the center. This is just going to give me some contrast into that flashback here. Pull it back and go in front, lock it in place. Now I'm going to trim out the tinsel. I want that tinsel facing backwards when I do that. We're going to take and whip finish now. Couple turn whip finish, snip that out. Now I'm going to take some Solarez UV Thin Hard. I'm just going to put that over the top of that thorax there, up into the bead where it creates a nice smooth wing case. Take my UV pin, the Moonlit quick adjustable pin, and just cure that up real quick. You can see it's got plenty of UV in here for some hot spots. I've got the hot spot collar. There's a little bit of hot spot shining through in the butt section and throughout the body. I'm just going to brush out with my dubbing brush that thorax area so I have a nice, really buggy looking fly. And there you have the hot spot flashback nymph. Thank you.